In the quaint village of Haverbrook, there existed a clock tower whose chimes had long gone silent. The villagers spoke of it in hushed tones, dubbing it the silent heart of Haverbrook. Legends permeated the air, whispering of a time when the tower's bells heralded joy and prosperity to all who lived nearby. But those days were veiled by a mist of despair that had settled over the village, coinciding with the clock's silence. At the heart of this enigma was Eleanor, the reclusive bellkeeper who hadn't been seen for nearly a decade. Eleanor was a woman of quiet strength, balancing between fragility and resilience. Her eyes, a striking shade of emerald, were windows to a soul that bore untold sorrows. When the bells ceased to ring, it was Eleanor who bore the brunt of the village's suspicions and fears, leading her to retreat into the isolation of the clock tower. Thomas, a young and ambitious historian, arrived in Haverbrook with a curious mind and a determination to uncover the truth buried under years of neglect. His arrival stirred the village, as many had resigned to their fate and given up any hope of hearing the bells again. With an ancient map and an old journal in hand, Thomas embarked on his quest. He discovered that the Silent Heart's last chime coincided with the passing of Eleanor's only son, Arthur. Arthur's death had cast a long, sorrowful shadow over Eleanor, causing her to shut herself away and silence the bells forever. But the journals hinted at something more. An unfinished melody that Arthur had composed, intended to be played by the bells, carrying a promise of hope and renewal. Driven by empathy and a desire to mend what time had broken, Thomas made his way to the clock tower. Within its cobwebbed confines he found Eleanor, frail yet resolute. Their meeting was charged with a mixture of tension and silent understanding. Thomas shared Arthur's unfinished composition with Eleanor, whose eyes shimmered with unspoken emotions. With trembling hands, Eleanor guided Thomas as they worked together to restore the bells and bring Arthur's melody to life. The village gathered, hearts heavy with a blend of anticipation and skepticism, as the clock struck midnight. The air was thick with silence, a collective breath held in suspense. Then, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the bells rang out, their harmonious notes weaving a tapestry of sound that resonated through the village and beyond. Tears flowed freely, breaking the dam of despair that had held Haverbrook captive for too long. In that moment, the Silent Heart reclaimed its voice, and the echoes of a silent heart were transformed into a symphony of hope and renewal. The villagers, once hesitant to believe, now felt a newfound optimism take root. Eleanor, rejuvenated by the restoration and the village's embrace, found solace in seeing her son's legacy endure. And Thomas, the catalyst of change, knew that he had unearthed more than just history. He had rekindled the spirit of an entire village.